I'm Ed Adelson, the Pro Vice Chancellor of Arts. I'm really glad you took the time to come and be back with this second welcome for the semester. I wanted to start by giving you a few examples of some other institutions that have been through some hardships that I know about because they're from my world back in the United States, the world that I just moved from last July. There are many examples to choose from, but I'm choosing these because many people say to me, so what's going to happen to the University of Canterbury? What's it going to be like in the future? Is it going to recover from something like this? And I am so certain that not only is it going to recover, but it's going to be a more interesting, better, and more meaningful place even than it was before. I have no doubts about that. And I have no doubts because of the people here, because of the institutional importance of this place, because of what it means, but also because of what I've seen in the United States as some examples. So I wanted to share a few of those with you. I'll start with California State University in Northridge. Some of you may have heard of that institution because in 1994 they had an earthquake that was really sort of unbelievable in its profundity. The epicenter of that earthquake was within something like 3 kilometers of the campus, and it was a very profound earthquake, and it leveled much of the campus. And the campus, which now has 36,000 students, not only has survived, but it's reinvented itself around all sorts of really rich programming. And one of the interesting things about it is that it ranks, I believe, number 2 in the United States as in master's institutions of institutions that are especially inviting to international students. So far from being an institution that sat back and said, well, we can't be great after this, they did something really meaningful. I'll turn next to an institution in New Orleans after the 2005 Katrina event, which of course was devastating to the city of New Orleans. That city continues to work to recover, but Tulane University, which is one of the premier universities in the United States, was closed for an entire semester. And they dispersed their students all over the United States. The institution I was working at got some of them. Many institutions across the United States did. And the one I was at was many thousands of miles away from New Orleans. They were with institutions all over the country in a kind of a diaspora. They returned to Tulane. The institution did some really interesting things in terms of outreach into the community as well as rethinking its programming and the way it delivered instruction. Today, it's not only one of the best institutions in the United States. The applications this last year for admission, which were more than 44,000 applications for 1,600 places, were the most applications of any institution in the United States, of any of the many universities, despite the fact that New Orleans continues to be a city that's rebuilding itself and going through some difficult times. They did that because they became even more of a vibrant and meaningful institution than they were before. My list goes on and on. I can mention New York University after 9/11 and the profound place they have with many of their programs, especially in the arts and sciences in our areas. Other institutions in the United States, including the University of Iowa just a few years ago in 2008 that had big flooding and is rebuilding its performing arts center as well as other parts of the campus with renewed strength. The list is very long, and of course it isn't confined to the United States, but I wanted to take some time to tell you about that because to me it's so important to prove the point that this is not an institution that's anything but on the move in a good way, in a way that's profound, that's interesting, that's going to continue to make very meaningful contributions across New Zealand and across the world, and you're a big part of that.